numbers grow stronger by the day. You no longer have to live in fear. The time has come for Benders to experience fear.
Today we are here with the one and only Josh Martin. If you don't know who he is, he's the one and only legend for Majin Buu, Kid Buu, Android 15, and Commander Red. To start this off, I usually start with the questions, but just for this one, I want to ask this: is it true that you did like body talent for Barney? Barney the
That was my first job in
Oh, that was
acting
your first
school.
ever job?
Yes, that was.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
It was. It was my first job in acting school. It was super great.
Okay, what got you into voice acting?
Man, you know what? I was like I said, I just finished acting school. Well, I went to acting school to be an actor, right? And so after I got back off the road from Barney, I hooked back up with my friends from acting school. We had already had some comedy troupes during our school days, and when I came back, the ones that we had already had kind of morphed into another one, which became Section 8 comedy. The three of us were in that comedy troupe together with a couple of other friends. Mark Orvik, he's the Australian guy who shoots B in the episode, that one. We also had Chad Klein in. He was in Yu Yu Hakusho for a while, Fruits Basket as well. But yeah, we were doing comedy, and Mike McFarlane was a fan of anime already, and he was a fan of Dragon Ball Z, and found out they were doing these auditions in the, right up the road from us, basically. And he went and auditioned, and he got the part of Master Roshi. And after that, he came and told us about it, and Rager was like, well, if Mike can get a part, I'll get a part. Right? And so he went and got his part as Mr. Satan. And soon after, they invited Chris Sabat to one of our comedy shows. And Chris saw me do a character in our show that I've been doing for years by then. Character was called the Pillsbury Homeboy.
Okay.
You know what it is. And so, yeah, it was gangster rapping Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I redid Snoop Dogg's What's My Name as Pillsbury Homeboy. Think Pillsbury Doughboy gets jumped on his way home from school one day. Innocent little doughboy, but he gets jumped by a gang of Keebler elves. And that triggers him. And he gets all kind of mad. He goes home and he starts listening to gangster rap, starts smoking weed, getting drunk, get the gangs, and next thing you know, he's got a rap song. So yeah, that was the idea.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how I got into that voice acting.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. Of all the roles you played, what character did you get attached to the most?
Ooh, man, I think probably Fat Boo.
Okay.
At this point, if I was going to rate all of them, but honestly, as an actor, I try to get attached to most of them that I'm doing. Now, I don't necessarily want to destroy the world or turn people into chocolate and eat them, but I do like chocolate. I do like candy and treats. So, there's a little bit of me in everything.
Okay. Respectful.
Yeah.
Do you think range and versatility matter when it comes to voice acting?
Yes and no. Sure. It is not the only thing. It's not necessarily a hindrance. It can be to an extent if people, if casting directors or producers, whatever, writers can't figure out what you do. They're like, well, like, I don't, what is his voice? Or maybe he is only a character voice, but we don't have a lot of character stuff.
Yeah.
or that sort of thing.
Okay.
But sometimes if you have a unique voice, if you
Mhm.
don't necessarily have a lot of range,
Mhm.
that's not detrimental. That doesn't mean you
Yeah.
can't be successful. You use what you got and you lean into it.
Okay. Has there been times where you had to record from home?
Oh yeah,
And how was
COVID.
that? How was that experience for the first time?
It was
Hmm.
a little odd just because we had to get used to some logistics,
Yeah.
and there was some learning curve there. It wasn't necessarily the fastest process for everyone that wasn't prepared to do that. We had to get kits,
Yeah.
recording kits from Crunchyroll, and pad closets or corners or wherever we could to get it as quiet as possible in the situations that everybody had.
Yeah.
And fortunately, with the magic of both technology and the technicians of the engineers, they were able to sort it all out and didn't miss a beat.
Mm. Okay. This is
But
a
I dug it.
this is a question
Yeah.
right here that I newly added. So,
Okay. All right.
of all the voice actors that you know of, are any of those that you would identify as role models?
As role models. Um, let's see. I would say, there are a lot of really great voice actors out there.
Hmm.
Uh, for a role model in the industry, boy,
Hmm.
I'd say first off, I'd say Chris Sabat.
Okay.
He's a guy that just started out, you know, in the office in a director's chair, and now he's who and what he is.
Yeah.
So he's a great guy. um Boy, what other role models in boy, I don't know. I try to be a role model myself sometimes, but at the same time, I am who I am,
Yeah.
and I do me. So you don't always do what I do what I say.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think can make a role challenging?
Oh man, all kinds of things. Of course, the situations
Hmm.
in the scenes can be challenging. Um, some the performance, both emotionally and physically, can be challenging. Even in
Yeah.
voiceover, it can be physically challenging. Of course, not just vocally, but there's
Yeah.
you gotta use your body to emote,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
so that can be challenging. Sometimes you gotta push through some not just sicknesses, but maybe some bad days, or
Yeah.
bad traffic, or all kinds of things, bills, wah wah wah. But at the end of the day, that's the gig.
Okay.
That's the gig. I really don't think it's that hard.
I
I mean,
agree.
it's not like super easy breezy,
Yeah.
but boy, I've done a lot of hard things, and this ain't it.
Okay. What type of voice acting projects do you enjoy working on the most? Animation, commercials, audiobooks, etc.
Ooh, I like the animation. I
Okay.
like anime. Yeah, I'm really trying to get into. I'd love to get into some pre-record anime animation, but I hadn't broken into that area yet. There's still time. I ain't dead yet.
Okay. What challenges have you faced in your voice acting career and how did you overcome them?
Hmm. Let's see. Well, initially I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that there was a big hurdle.
So you were just
Uh,
going into it blind pretty much.
absolutely. Not just not just because I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't know anything about dubbing.
Yeah.
Um, I was familiar with what that was after being involved for
Mm-hmm.
a minute, but I didn't know how to do it. So I was having to learn on the fly. I got thrown in the deep end right off the bat. So I'd say that right off the bat it was challenging. I've had some times where I've had some vocal strain or maybe some illnesses like I was talking about, and had the time booked already. And sometimes you got to be honest with yourself and the director and think about the quality of the final product, and make sure that you're not going to compromise that.
Yeah.
But I come from the road, the Barney days on the road, and so you didn't have any sick days.
Yeah.
There were no sick days,
Okay.
really.
Okay.
I mean, maybe you could have one, but you better get right back on it because there's nobody else.
Yeah.
It's just you out there. For
Okay.
my part, at least, there was me and Carrie. Me and
Okay.
Carrie. There's only two of us, and so if one of us didn't do it, the other one had to do all of it.
Oh wow. That
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot.
it was. It was great. We both had to do it at times anyway.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, things do happen, but it's you gotta go into it with the mindset and just continue on every day, just thinking that the show's got to go on. There
Yeah.
ain't nobody else to do it. And if they do get someone else to do it, guess what? You won't be doing it anymore after that,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. This question, I feel as if for me personally, because like I've gotten into voice acting and I've been doing it
Okay.
for a couple months.
All
So
right.
how do you maintain the health and quality of your voice, especially during demanding projects?
Well, you gotta do the right things beforehand
Okay.
to start with, right? You gotta hydrate. That's
Yeah.
number one. Always hydrate. That's every day for everyone.
Yeah.
We're the earth and our bodies are majority water. So that's easy. Second of all, the other things you put in your body, food, other substances,
Hmm.
um, and then how you use that voice. It is a muscle.
Okay.
It is, well, if you want to get technical, the voice is a product of many muscles
Yeah.
and other organs working together, right? Like I
Hmm.
was talking about earlier, you got to be physical when you emote. So that includes your fingers, your shoulders, your body, everything. You got to take care of that body. You got to and you got to learn how to use it properly. So training,
Okay.
all of that. Uh, you when you learn how to train, when you train properly, you learn how to properly warm up that voice and
Yeah.
stretch both you know all the thing, the jaws, the tongues, the
Yeah.
the whole body. And then you gotta do that after, you got to do that during
Hmm.
and afterwards.
Okay.
And the way that you do that during is, if you get too strained,
Hmm.
uh you got to be honest with yourself. Hey, you know what? Got to call it.
Yeah.
I got to call it, and I got to come back.
Okay.
All right, you can, if you can only be a hero so much until you start being a detriment to the product and yourself.
Yeah. I agree.
uh, right. um so yeah,
Okay.
that's my advice.
When you were in recording sessions, were you comfortable when it came to improvising?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, like I said, that's where we came from. Me and Rager and McFarlane, we couldn't get hired because we had never worked before as
Yeah.
actors, and we couldn't get work as actors because never been hired before.
Respectfully.
Right? And that's
Mhm.
how that goes. And we couldn't get agents because of all of that.
Okay.
So uh, we decided to take matters into our own hands. And much like bands, musical bands, um, certainly back in the day without YouTube and stuff. But also there were a few different comedy troupes before us at that time, and
Mm-hmm.
some at the time we were coming up that were, making a name for themselves. They couldn't
Yeah.
get work. They, all the way back to Jack Nicholson,
Okay.
all the way up through, at Second City, The State, SNL, all that stuff. Those boys and girls, men and women came through those programs and those classes and they developed a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where I came from.
Respectfully.
So yeah, I was ready.
Okay. What styles of voice acting do you think fit you the most, or that you're most suited for?
Yeah, I'm probably best for character stuff. That's probably what I'm best known for anyway. But yeah, I as an actor, the ego actor comes through, and I gotta say I can do it all. I feel
Okay.
I can do it all. I got to be careful these days. I don't want to, step on any toes or,
Most definitely.
disrespect anybody or offend anybody. But I do feel like if called upon,
Yeah.
and needed, then I'd be ready. I know way back when I was starting 24 years ago, the access to everyone was not there.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of parts that were done in the past by misgendered,
Yeah.
what's the word, misraced. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the right word, but
I know.
you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you said I did Android 15. Hey, newsflash, he was not purple in Japanese.
That is true.
I don't know if y'all know that, but he was not purple in Japanese.
Yeah.
And you can guess what color he was.
Yeah.
Right. And I meant no disrespect to my brothers out there, but I grew up with a lot of brothers, and so I tried to do an ode to my pimps. And and listen, I came from Louisiana, and there's plenty of white dudes I grew up that sounded just like that. And if you hear me talk right now, I just sound like a deeper voice Android 15, really.
Yeah.
Break yourself, Goku.
Could you describe your process in preparing for a voice acting role?
Well, I don't get a lot of time. Pardon me, I don't get a lot of time to prepare.
Oh wow.
Most of my stuff, you probably look on my resume and not see a lot of lead parts.
Yeah.
Because I don't do a lot of the angsty
Yeah.
lead roles. They got a lot of other people doing those these days, and that's great. So I'm sorry, remind me the question again.
Okay. The question was, could you describe your process for preparing for a voice acting role?
So yeah, I don't get a lot of time to prepare, so I get called in, and it's just on a property, and I'll do a lot of bit parts.
Okay.
Right? So they'll just say, all right, this guy here.
Yeah.
All right, he's in the background. They'll give me the backstory and then go. And then I'll watch it once, and then we'll go back, and then I'll record it. And that's that improv. That's that improv. Right?
Yeah. Do you think improv like helps a lot with voice acting?
Absolutely.
Like help?
No question.
Okay.
No question. To be clear, improvisation is a technique, is an acting technique.
Yeah.
It's not a comedy thing.
Yeah.
It's not a comedy performance or a comedy exercise even. It's an acting technique to help you first build a character, help yourself when you get a part in a play specifically, right? Let's just say you're playing Harry Potter, right?
Okay.
Whatever, right? And you're reading these lines along the way, and they don't really, nowhere in the play does it explain why you're saying this or what you're saying it for or what happened in the past to you that makes you say this or would affect how you say this or things like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes there is no right answer, but improv is a way for you to explore that character in an honest way that you can build and just live in that character without having dialogue,
Yeah.
without having it printed, right? If you're really taking on that character of a young wizard who's been, whatever, orphan, blah, 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 then
Mhm.
boom, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what the lyrics, what the dialogue is. You've
Mhm.
made that choice. You've made that adjustment, and you commit to it,
Okay.
right? So you get into the films, and now director and producer and money wants you to say a specific thing a specific way
Yeah.
many times, right?
Yeah.
Well, you already did the process. You
Yeah.
already figured it out. Now you can do that. Now
Okay.
you can do that because you know exactly how you can do it over and over again because you are that person.
Okay.
You've improv it. It also is a technique when you're in a play and you forget your lines,
Yeah.
or the other person forgets their lines. What are you going to do? You're going to wait until you remember the line? Well, you could just be frozen there for forever.
Yeah.
So you just be the character and you start having a conversation as the character.
Okay.
You may go back and say the lines before. You remember what I was saying before this, that, the other thing? I say the lines I do remember. And
Yeah.
then the other character picks up their lines. And then, oh, yes, yes, yes. Here it is. This is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Right? That's what that is. It just, reality is usually funnier than comedy. So it just happened that improvisation turned into comedy. And so a lot of
Yeah.
people they've exploited that to be a comedy show, improv
Yeah.
comedy show. We did it.
Yeah. Okay. When
Yeah.
performing, do you prefer to have others in the recording studio with you, or would you rather work alone?
Well, in dubbing, you have to be alone just because of the
Yeah.
process. And I've done some commercials with other people.
Yeah.
Dig that. I always like to work with people. Same with auditions. I don't like I mean, I know that that's where we are and that's what you do,
Yeah.
but I really prefer to have a director these days.
Respectfully.
Right?
Could you provide an example of times when you had to perform multiple roles in a single recording session?
Every time.
Whether it be like additional character, like additional background or stuff like that?
Yes. Well, recently I did. Uh, uh, let's see. I'll just say I did 3 major characters
Okay.
in a session.
Okay.
That's what I can say. How about that?
All right. All right. What do you think is the longest recording session you've been in, and what show was it?
I think in the beginning I did the Boo Saga 3 hours at a time, but I think it only took me like I think it really only took me like 4 or 5. Well, I take it back. I mean, I was just, it took us probably a month. I think it was maybe a month or 2 to do an episode
Mm-hmm.
because it was all tape,
Yeah.
it wasn't digital. So, there were times where I was like, oh, I guess they're not calling me back.
Yeah.
Oh, here it's back. Because I couldn't watch it. I didn't watch it regularly because I was working when they would play it
Yeah.
on TV.
Okay.
Yes, I'd say about 3 hours. That's about as much as I could do screaming. If I'm just talking, I could probably do more, but I don't do much just talking.
Okay. Okay. What beyond talent do you feel one needs to book work as a voice actor?
Beyond talent, Rager does voiceover classes, and he likes to say, "Be someone that people want to work with."
Yeah.
I think that's valid.
Okay. I
I
agree.
think that's valid. I think at least the opposite is not a good idea. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
And the ones that can get away with being jerks it's a rare.
Yeah.
It's a rare occasion, and that's usually because of someone they know and other things, other extenuating circumstances. I would just I'd start by being someone people want to work with. I think that's an intangible uh, you can start with. That's something that no one can teach you,
Okay.
right? But you can do on yourself for free. $3.99, my favorite price.
Okay. This is also a newer question that I added.
Okay.
Of all the voice actors, I wouldn't say you work with, but just in general, if you had to make a Mount Rushmore, like four, who would you put up there?
Of voice actors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take it back. You might have to do some Googling after this episode.
If you say Mel Blanc, I already know.
Well, you know that's first.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
okay.
And then we got Frank Welker,
Okay.
right? I'm gonna put up a random one for you. Candy Candido.
Oh, okay.
You
Respectfully.
know you know who that is?
Yeah. Yeah, most
Okay.
definitely.
All right. And then Vincent Price.
Okay. I like that one. I like that one.
How
Okay.
about that?
I respect that. I respect
As
that.
Mount Rushmores go, because there's only four,
I
and
agree.
because there were several good voice actors back in that day, even
Yeah,
that's I could mix and match several, but I'll
I
go with
agree.
those four.
I respect that. I respect that Mount Rushmore.
Thank you.
Usually I get like the same three, and then there's like there's one mix up, but okay, I like that one. You mixed it up a lot there, so I
They
respect.
got. I'm sure Mel Blanc. I mean, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Right? He's got to be the GOAT,
most,
right?
most definitely.
Okay. Who else? What are the other two that people usually do?
I think of them, a lot of people put what's his name that voices Peter Griffin. Like
Oh,
I've
McFarlane.
had that one up there a lot,
All right, Seth MacFarlane. Okay.
and one of them was a woman voice actor. I don't remember her name.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
the lady that voices um Marge Simpson, the daughter.
Nancy Cartwright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hey, I'm not arguing with those either. Not arguing with those either.
Okay.
Yeah.
What in your life experience was most helpful in you becoming a voice actor?
Improv.
Okay.
Improv. Not only did it prepare me as an actor, um, it put me out there.
Yeah. Pretty much put you
It
on the map.
it gave me exposure, and it directly connected me to anime.
Yeah.
Simple as that, really.
Okay. And the final
Yeah.
question
Okay.
that I asked all voice actors, could you give us a couple lines from Majin Buu and what I'm saying, the laugh from Kid Buu?
Oh, sure. How
Okay.
about let me turn you into this time. Chocolate or jelly? Boo, kill you.
What could you give us the pudding cup one that you
Oh,
did?
you like the okay.
Yeah.
Oh, pudding cup for
And last the Kid Buu laugh.
boo. Let's see. Boo squash you like bugs.
Thank you so much for coming on stream. It was an honor to have you on.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Most definitely. Most definitely.